Adults in effort to climb stairs are often amazed at children who do it just for fun. High as they can go and down the hard way. He knows what he can't do. They're just finding out what they can do. The adults try to conserve our energy. Children fling theirs away and never seem to run down. We sit down when we can. Any little craving for action we develop can usually be satisfied by watching a football game on TV or reading an action-packed drama. These children act as if they don't know that benches are for sitting on. Is it any wonder that they have to work just to sit still at their school desk? Fountains were built for adults to look at and admire. For children, they are additional places for testing their growing physical skills with the added attraction of water. Sometimes we can take advantage of children's energy and the urge to scamper that goes with it. Sometimes we can take advantage of children's energy and the urge to explore that goes with it to help each of them realize his movement potential. We have tried to do so by putting into practice a physical education program which builds on what children do naturally to help them develop strong and have full control. Movement education begins with a physical and psychological environment which fosters free exploration. The first job of the school and the teacher is to provide the space and equipment which will encourage doing what comes naturally. In the beginning, the children are free to choose where they shall go, what they shall do, how long they shall work on any apparatus. They must observe some simple rules for dress, safety, and respect for others. They must come prepared to work in play clothes with bare feet. They must talk in a conversational tone. They must observe safe traffic rules and must not touch others while they are working. As long as the rules are observed, they are free to work on their own with only encouragement from the teacher. There is no given way to perform an action. There is no one right way or best way. There are many different ways. Sandy's way, Billy's way. To invent their own movement patterns. Each child judges his own capacity. Sometimes a child does not achieve what he sets out to do, but all soon learn to face their shortcomings honestly and with good humor. They will try again tomorrow, and the next day, and the next. All children experience success because there is no single standard of achievement. Everyone is working at the pace he sets for himself. With the emphasis on individual development rather than competition, no one is ever second best or afraid of failure. With no prizes or special praise for the fastest, the highest, or the farthest, children work to discover, practice, and refine new patterns. Occasionally, some of the more mature children find satisfaction in working with each other. This kind of matching action arises spontaneously. The teacher has not suggested to the children that they work together. The teacher gives help to those children who seek it. She responds frequently to the call, watch me, teacher." But before long, some of the children are saying, "Watch Eddie," or "See how Sherry does it." As the children begin to take an interest in the successes of others, the teacher occasionally selects a pattern for all of them to observe. She begins to develop their awareness of movement. What is she doing with her body? Where is it moving in space? What is the quality of her movement? Another child tries something similar but different. The teacher encourages originality. The children are beginning to understand that they don't just move. They are becoming interested in how they move and which part of their body takes their weight. Now, a little of the free exploration will be supplemented by teacher-directed group work. The children are given some set ways to move so that they will feel contrasts in movement, and so that they can develop a vocabulary of movement and kinesthetic awareness. Here they move from hands to feet in a straight forward direction. Can anyone do the same thing, but in a different direction? Yes, straight to the side. Everybody try that. Who has another way they'd like to show us? Yes, Mary is moving in a straight line but changes direction frequently. She has made a movement pattern. All of you, make your own pattern as you move from hands to feet. And then the children are encouraged to vary their movements within the pattern. Now the task is to move on any body part, but with the toes of one foot held high. As a carryover from the previous problem, most of the children are working at it in about the same way. But soon, variations begin to appear. Then it is suggested that they try holding some other body part high, one hand high, and then upright with fingertips high. Another time, everyone tries hopping on one foot with a knee held high. One boy holds his knee up very high. Another, perhaps remembering an earlier lesson, tries a different kind of action. Then a girl remembers that you don't have to move forward and in a straight path. Another tries hopping with her knee high and back. The class points out that it's her foot that's really high. For contrast, the girl tries to keep one foot as close to the floor as possible while she hops. The whole class gives it a try. Much of the directed group work involves running. In this variation of the old freeze game, the children are asked to make wide shapes for their bodies when commanded to stop. This is to feel the contrast between fluency and rigid control, and to get the feeling of bigness, extension, the body parts stretched far from each other. Then they try extension while moving, with very large steps. For contrast, tiny steps are tried. Now these girls are mixing the two, trying to keep the big steps very long and the tiny ones very short. Each decides for herself when to make the change. They seem to like the feel of the big steps best. Perhaps everyone can find a different way of moving with short, tiny steps that he enjoys. Another time, the class goes from upright to flat on the floor. Everyone tries to extend his body into an arrow shape, long and straight, while changing the tempo of his movement. Very slow, fast, and slow again. The class watches one boy who does a good job of maintaining a continuous rolling movement, but someone points out he has his arms pressed to his sides instead of overhead. So, everybody tries again with fingertips stretched out. Then, instead of a long shape, this girl holds herself in a tight, curled position and tries to roll like a ball. Another girl creates a movement pattern by extending quickly between each roll. The children also learn to rock. Before long, the rocking turns into forward and backward rolls. Rolling movements on the wooden floor can be slightly painful at first until the child learns to transfer his body weight with sensitivity and control. So sometimes mats are used. This boy has developed sufficient control and flow to move without sudden jar or pressure, an important aspect of safety in many real-life situations. Though the teacher is directing the children to work within set limitations, they still are encouraged to invent their own responses within the patterns suggested to them. There is still time during every class period for them to explore as they choose on the apparatus. A few only want to rush back to a favorite piece of equipment and repeat a favorite movement pattern. Most of them take with them the experiences practiced in safety on the floor and incorporate them in ever more complex patterns on the apparatus. In this room, specially equipped to give them wide experiences in movement, these children are not taught or told in the usual sense. They are treated as discoverers, explorers, as each must discover and explore his physical being for himself. The work of these first-grade children is only a beginning. Before they even have ample opportunity to learn the mastery of their present bodies, they will grow and change. New potentials and temporary handicaps need to be tested and explored in an atmosphere which supports practice, however faltering, and inquiry. What can my body do? How does it move? Where does it move in space?